Welcome to Fazza Poetry World, where hearts turn into poetry. In the quiet of the night, when the world slowly fades into silence and even the stars seem to whisper secrets to the sky, I find myself thinking of you again, not just as a memory, not just as a feeling, but as a future I once believed in with every beat of my heart. There is something about promises, they are not just words. They are fragile bridges between two souls. And yours, your promise, it became the light I followed even in my darkest hours. Tell me, if your promise still breathes somewhere in your heart, then what will become of us because I am still here? Still standing in the same place where you left me with hope in my hands and your name in my prayers. My nights are no longer just nights. They have turned into long conversations between my heart and the silence. Every second asks me the same question again and again. If their promise was real, then why does it feel so far away now? And yet, I cannot let go. Because love like this does not disappear, it transforms into waiting, into patience, into quiet suffering. I remember the way you once looked at me, as if I was not just a person, but a home. And I held on to that feeling like it was my entire world. But now, your silence has grown louder than your words ever were. And my heart, it keeps searching for meaning in every little thing. In every memory. In every moment. In every unfinished sentence between us. Tell me, if your promise still holds its truth, will we find our way back to each other, or are we just two souls who met to learn how deeply love can hurt? There are nights when I close my eyes and imagine a life where you stayed. A life where your words didn't fade into distance. A life where your promise became our forever. In that life, we wake up together. We laugh without fear. We hold hands not as a question, but as certainty. And love feels easy there. But when I open my eyes, reality greets me with your absence. And I am left with nothing but echoes. Echoes of what if. Echoes of maybe. Echoes of almost. Still, I refuse to believe that something so pure was meant to end in silence. Because I felt it. Every word you said. Every promise you made. Every moment you looked at me like I mattered. That cannot be a lie, can it? Or maybe love was never about staying, maybe it was about teaching us how to feel something real, even if it was temporary. But my heart, it doesn't understand temporary. It only knows forever. That's why it still waits. Still hopes. Still believes, in you. If your promise is still alive somewhere deep inside you, then come back. Not with excuses. Not with fear. But with truth. Because I am tired of guessing your silence. I am tired of loving you alone. And yet, I cannot stop. Because even now, in this broken, incomplete, uncertain story, you are still my favorite chapter. And if fate allows, if destiny is kind, if love is truly as powerful as we once believed, then maybe one day, our story will not end with questions. It will end with us. Together. Not as a memory, but as a promise that finally stayed. So tell me, if your promise still holds its meaning, what will become of me and you, because I am still here, waiting, not for perfection, but for truth. And if your love was ever real, then I know, one day, you will find your way back to me. And when you do, I won't ask you why you left. I will only ask one thing. Are you here to stay this time? Because my heart, it can survive distance. It can survive silence. But it cannot survive another broken promise. So choose carefully, because love like this comes only once. And I gave it all to you. And if you ever come back, don't come quietly. Don't stand at a distance like a stranger who once knew my name. Come back like you mean it. Like every step towards me carries the weight of everything we lost, and everything we still have the chance to rebuild. Because I am not the same person you left behind. Time has changed me. Silence has shaped me. And your absence, it has taught me how to survive without the very thing I thought I couldn't live without you. But surviving is not the same as living. And even now, my heart still remembers how alive it felt when you were here. There are pieces of you in everything. In the way I look at the sky, hoping it carries your thoughts to me, in the songs I cannot listen to anymore without feeling something break inside, in the quiet moments where your name almost escapes my lips, but I stop myself, because there is no one there to hear it. Tell me, did you ever feel this emptiness too, or was I the only one holding on to something that slowly slipped through your hands because I stayed? Even when it hurt. Even when it was easier to walk away. Even when your silence started answering questions I was too afraid to ask. I stayed, not because I was weak, but because I believed. I believed in your words. In your promises. In the way you once made me feel like I was enough. And maybe that was my mistake, believing that something so beautiful could never break. But here I am, standing in the ruins of everything we once dreamed of. Still holding on to the pieces. Still trying to understand where it all went wrong. Was it something I said, something I didn't say, or was it simply that love, no matter how deep, is sometimes not enough to make someone stay? There are nights when I replay everything in my mind. Every conversation. Every laugh. Every moment your eyes met mine. Searching for the exact second where we started losing each other. But love doesn't break in one moment, it fades, slowly, silently, until one day you realize the person you held so close, is already gone. And yet, despite everything, I still cannot hate you. I tried. I really did. I tried to turn my love into anger, my memories into lessons. My feelings into something easier to carry. But my heart refuses. Because it knows something my mind cannot accept, that what we had, was real. And real things don't just disappear. They stay. In the quiet corners of your soul. In the memories you cannot erase. In the feelings that return when you least expect them. So if you ever feel it too, if there is even a small part of you that still remembers us, then don't ignore it. Don't silence it like you silenced everything else. Listen to it. Because maybe, just maybe, it is love calling you back. And if you come back, Don't bring the same uncertainty. Don't bring half love. Don't bring promises you are not ready to keep. Because I have already lived that story. And I cannot survive it twice. Come back with honesty. With courage. With the kind of love that does not disappear when things get hard. Because this time, if we choose each other again, it has to be forever. No doubts. No distance. No silence that leaves questions unanswered. Just you, and me, standing side by side, choosing each other every single day. Not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. Because love like ours, it doesn't happen often. And when it does, it deserves a second chance. But only if both hearts are ready. So I ask you again, not as someone who is broken, but as someone who has learned their worth, if your promise still lives within you, if your love is still true, then what will you do about it? Because I am no longer just waiting, I am deciding. Deciding whether to hold on, or finally let go. And this time, the choice won't be made by your silence. It will be made by your actions. So if you come back, come with truth. Or don't come at all. Because I would rather heal alone, than be broken together again. But still, in the deepest part of my heart, there is a small hope, a quiet whisper, that maybe, you will choose us. And if you do, I promise, I won't let this love fade again. Not because I'm afraid to lose you, but because I finally understand, that love is not just about feeling, it's about staying. So tell me, are you ready to stay this time? And if you still hesitate, if your heart still stands at the edge of a decision it is too afraid to make, then listen closely, not to me, but to your own soul. Because deep down, you already know the truth. Love does not confuse. People do. Promises do not fade on their own. They are either protected, or they are forgotten. So tell me honestly, was I someone you truly wanted, or just someone you were afraid to lose at that moment? Because there is a difference. And I have lived that difference in your silence. There was a time when your presence felt like peace. When your words carried warmth. When your promises felt like something I could build my entire life around. But now your absence feels like a question that has no answer. And I am tired of living inside questions. I deserve clarity. I deserve truth. I deserve a love that does not make me feel like I am asking for too much, just by asking someone to stay. Do you know what it feels like, to slowly realize that the person you trusted the most, is becoming the reason you question everything? It feels like drowning, quietly, without anyone noticing. Because on the outside, I smile. I talk. I pretend. But inside, there is a storm that never stops. A storm made of your memories, your promises, and your absence. And yet, even in this chaos, there is something inside me that refuses to give up completely. Maybe it's love. Maybe it's hope. Or maybe it's just the part of me that still believes in us. But that part is getting tired. Not of loving you, but of loving you alone. Because love was never meant to be one-sided. It was meant to be shared. Felt. protected, and chosen, every single day. Not just when it's easy. Not just when it feels right. But even when it's hard. Even when distance tries to pull two hearts apart. Even when silence becomes comfortable. Because real love, it fights. Not with anger, but with effort. Not with words, but with actions. So where were your actions, when I needed them the most? Where were your words, when my heart was breaking in silence? Where were you, when I was still choosing you, even in your absence? These are not accusations, these are the questions your silence left behind. And I have carried them long enough. So now, I need answers. Not tomorrow. Not someday. But now. Because I am standing at a point where I can no longer ignore my own worth. I have learned something through all this pain, that love should never make you feel like you are not enough. That promises should not feel like burdens. And that the right person will never make you question where you stand in their life. So if you are still unsure, if your heart still cannot decide, then maybe that is your answer. Because love, real love, does not hesitate. It does not leave room for doubt. It does not walk away and expect to find everything the same when it returns. It either stays, or it lets go. But it does not disappear and come back like nothing happened. Because hearts are not doors you can open and close whenever you want. They are fragile. And once they break, they may forgive, but they never forget. Still, if there is even a single part of you that is certain, certain about me, certain about us, then don't let fear stop you. Don't let pride silence you. Don't let time take away something that could have been your forever. Because not everyone gets a love like this twice. And I am not someone who will wait forever without knowing where I stand. I have given you time. I have given you patience. I have given you a love that asked for nothing, except honesty. Now, it is your turn. To choose. To speak. To show. Because words without action, are just empty promises. And I am done building my heart around emptiness. So this is where I stand, not as someone begging for love, but as someone who knows their worth. If you come back, come with certainty. Come with a heart that is ready, come with a promise that does not break under pressure. And if you cannot, then let me go. Completely. Without leaving pieces of yourself behind. Without giving me reasons to hold on. Without making me believe in something that no longer exists. Because I would rather face the pain of losing you once, than live forever in the confusion of almost having you. And maybe, just maybe, this is what love truly is. Not just holding on, but knowing when to let go. But before I do, before I finally walk away from everything we were, I will ask you one last time, not with tears, not with fear, but with strength, if your promise was ever real, if your love was ever true, if your heart ever saw a future with mine, then tell me, why are you still silent?